Fox News alert right now. Fire crews in Los Angeles racing to contain an out-of-control wildfire, bracing for more strong winds to threaten their progress. 16 victims are confirmed dead, and more than 100,000 remain evacuated. Joining us now is the latest with California Fire Battalion Chief David Acuna. Chief, thanks for being with us this morning. Let's start with just an update. First, how do we feel about containment? What areas are the most threatened as we wake up this morning?
Good morning. Thank you for having me on. Well, honestly, the entire perimeter is threatened. Although we are 11 and 15% containment for the Palisades and Eaton, respectively. The concern is these winds as they go back and forth. You know, Adam did a great job of pointing out all the weather of the Santa Ana winds. One of the elements that we look at as well, though, is that all that air ends up being a pocket off the ocean. Well, as soon as the winds stop, the winds go the other direction. So we've been dealing with these battling winds that threaten every inch of that line, which is why we're being so cautious with the containment percentage. So,
Chief, right now, as we stand here today, how do you feel about the resources available to you? Do you have everything you need to best fight these fires?
We have more than 12,000 firefighters assigned to these incidents, and with more on the way. You know, with 7 states contributing, as well as Canada and Mexico, it's all hands on deck, and we're thankful that everyone in the Western region and internationally are coming to our aid.
So let me ask you a couple questions of personal curiosity as we watch this fire and the firefighting unfold. We see a lot from the helicopters, the super scoopers. It's on the screen right now. We see fire retardant being dropped. Tell me a little bit. You drop water, you drop retardant. Is the aim to hit the area of the fire? Is it to aim ahead of where you think the fire is headed? Is it both? Tell me a little bit about the strategy from an aerial perspective in fighting these fires.
So helicopters primarily drop the water, and their goal is to slow the fire down enough to let crews to get in. Aircraft provide fixed-wing aircraft provide 2 different elements. So the retardant can be used directly on the line to slow the fire down so crews can get in, but it also is designed to create areas like, say, on the ridges where you saw that aircraft just drop right now, to be able to create a line that the fire won't be able to get past. So it is a combination of direct and indirect attack.
Right. So I was looking at the evacuation zone. I don't know if we have that map that we can put up, but just with a little bit of a working knowledge of Southern California, what I saw when it comes to the Palisades fire is that it's approaching essentially 101, it looks like, on the northern side, and 405. These are highways on the eastern side. One, do those highways provide you a natural fire break that helps in fighting the fire? 2, they also represent, those highways, population centers. So are those real concerns for you? That would be, I would assume, on the 101, like Sherman Oaks, Woodland Hills. Over at the 405, you're talking about Brentwood, places like that.
Well, you're absolutely right on both points. They can be a fire break, especially when we have, relatively low winds, 5-10 miles an hour. They're great fire breaks, but they're also population centers. Now, when we have 60 to 100 mile per hour winds, like we saw on Tuesday and Wednesday, that's just simply not going to be sufficient, which is why we struggled so early on this fire, because it was just blowing so incredibly fast.
Okay, last question for you before we go, Chief. I asked you what you have available to you today. Is it satisfactory for what you need to fight these fires? I don't want to push you into the blame game unless you feel like it's warranted. But if you look back on how prepared you guys were, what was made available to you in the beginning stages of these fires, do you feel like you were best served to fight these fires from the authorities in terms of water and everything else you need?
Yes, actually, we did. We moved a number of resources from CAL FIRE from the north because they have sufficient rain and snow up there, all the way down to Southern California to prepare. We didn't know where the fires were going to be, so that as soon as we did have a fire break out, we immediately engaged.
Okay. David Acuna, California Fire Chief, Battalion Chief, thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Okay.